Jess, I'm bored.
Take a hike.
Oh, yeah?
No, really. I mean, take a hike.
Trekking the national parks is from Charlie Bink of Bink Ink. And it is a family weight set collection game, sort of in the same house as a game like Ticket to Ride. If you've played Ticket to Ride, then you know the weight and, in many ways, the gameplay mechanisms that trekking uses. However, there are certain things about trekking, like the theme, and a few of the mechanisms that I think actually I like more than Ticket to Ride for a game of this weight class. And certainly if you and your family or your gaming group have an interest in national parks or travel or just seeing the splendors of the Americas, then trekking actually has some interesting things to offer. The goal of trekking is to end the game with the most points, and there are a few different mechanisms by which you're going to earn points during the game. You'll earn them from visiting national parks, you'll earn them from collecting stones along the way, and if you're playing with the inbox expansion, you'll also earn them for mailing postcards, and there's kind of no reason not to use the postcards. They're simple, and they make a fun little addition to the game. Now, if you look down here at the board, what you have here is the map of the United States, and I think it's actually very pretty, and it's neat for me to see the lines of the states cut up, but we're not actually paying attention to what the names of the states are. Instead, we're focused on these different either national parks or sites where nature's beauty is resplendent in a way. And you will, on your turn, take 2 actions, and you only have 3 available choices, a couple more if you're using the postcards. The first action that you can take is to move. So, for example, if I wanted to move on this trail, I can move any number of spaces I want, but each trail has a value on it. And so in order to move from one space to the next, you need to pay in cards the value, and exactly the value, of the spaces that you're moving. So, for example, to go from the start to the Rocky Mountain, I would need to pay exactly 4. And so from my hand of cards, I could pay a 3 and a 1, or a 2 and a 2, whatever, and I could move exactly that. If I had wanted to keep going and go to Mesa Verde, I would have to have paid 6. Once I arrive at a destination, if there's a stone there, I can claim it. And claiming stones is great because at the end of the game, we're going to be giving out bonus points for the most of each color stone, as well as the people who have collected the most stones overall. And another mechanism of getting points is by claiming these national park cards. And so a certain number are face up at any given time, and those are the cards, or the parks rather, that we are trying to get to. So for example, I'm in the Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountain is on offer. In order to claim it and get the 4 points for it, I'd need to turn in 3 green cards. The values, in this case, don't matter. Once I do that, I discard those cards, I claim Rocky Mountain, those points are mine, another card gets flipped out, and we're all headed to the next location. Moving and claiming park cards are just 2 of the available actions, but the rest are essentially just drawing cards in the simple drafting mechanic, or picking up or mailing these postcards, which I mentioned before. Postcards are just like park cards. They require a certain number of symbols to be discarded in order to send them, but the benefit of these is that you don't actually have to be in any particular place in order to send them. The mechanisms are pretty light, so I would always add this little expansion. It doesn't feel like an expansion. Trekking the national parks is a light game. It's family level, and I think that's fantastic for that. Basically, once you're done with the game, you've cleared all the stones off the board, or you've claimed all of the national park cards that there are to be had, and there's a different number depending on the number of players, you'll simply assign your bonuses, add up your points, and whoever has the most wins. So it's uncomplicated from beginning to end. Your options are always pretty straightforward. There aren't a lot of heavy decisions to be made, but honestly, I think that's great for this weight of game. And if your group or your family is particularly interested in national parks and in travel as a subject, there's even this really beautiful, well put together national parks guide that talks about these places that the game is about. So, you kind of imagine if you've got kids or you've got a friend group and you're going to go take a trip to the hot springs in Arkansas, this tells you some interesting facts about it. You can play the game. You can travel there in the game, maybe score some points. It's fun, and it's light, and it's incredibly accessible. And for that reason, I kind of feel like it could easily take the place of a Ticket to Ride, especially for a group that finds this theme particularly interesting or fun or compelling, and there's a little less opportunity to mess with each other. You can block each other in the sense that you can't pass through another player, but other than that, there's really very little in the way of negative player interaction, which doesn't stop you from hating that person who grabs that last spot that you really, really needed, and you've been trying to build a hand for 3 turns, Josh, and you could have scored it if you hadn't gotten in my way. But anyway, that aside, Trekking the National Parks is a really, really fantastic game for its weight class. Totally a winner, and totally worth checking out if the theme speaks to you even at all. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew from Gameosity. We'll see you next game.
Enjoy that review? Then please like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and check out our full reviews on Gameosity.com.